Alright, so it looks like we're going to have a little King's Indian on our hands. And I'm going to go with the... see what he does, but probably be going with the Panno System. Yeah. The Panno System, A6 and Rook B8 here. Also, the Benoni is supposed to be pretty good against the Fianchetto Variation here. So H3 is pretty standard. Maybe Bishop E3 and Queen D2, but you know the Panno System is really pretty interesting. I mean, the best tries that I've seen is where White, you know, like kind of plays for C5. Maybe that's what he's doing here, but I don't think so. I don't think C5 is going to be as good here. Okay, so he's going to take, maybe he's going to play D5, but I'm just wondering if I could play B4. But I guess it doesn't really do anything, this B4 move. Maybe I'll just go knight A5 and try to play C5 as a normal move. I mean, I guess he could play E5 here. He's also got knight to D4. Maybe I messed up the move order on this. I think so. I don't think I was supposed to play B5 there so fast after E4. Maybe E6 is like the move. But it looks like he messed up the move order too. I don't think that was a good move. And I'm going to play C5. And now, with C5 being played, I should be just fine. I don't think I'm going to have too many problems. Right, so he's going to take. The question, do I go ahead and take back immediately? Probably just do that. It's a little bit sketchy to try to keep that there. Try to keep that pawn. He could play knight D4. I don't see why he can't do that. He's not going to do it. Okay. I can play B4. I can play Bishop E6. Bishop E6 looks like a pretty cool move. Knight G5 though. Yeah, it's not that cool. Bishop D7, Knight D7. I like Knight to D7. It looks kind of weird, but everything's going down on the queen side. And it opens up my bishop attacking his knight on c3, so I think this is a good move. Also, maybe, knight on c5, then bishop to e6 really has a lot more oomph. It's got a lot more effect to play bishop to e6 then. Knight c5, bishop e6, that's got to be the tentative plan. Maybe I can change this plan, though. I mean, knight c5 is pretty cool. Knight b6, maybe even better. Although I guess he could just, well, he could take b5, but then have knight to c4, and I feel like I've still got pretty good play. I think he's going to play knight to d4. Right, knight to d4. And I don't really want to trade dark squared bishops. Man, I think I got a little bit too loose in this game. I did not want to do this. This is just really weird. Knight A7? That's a hideous move. It's a really bad move. Just take it. The thing is, like, E5 here, I have a really big hole. Knight C4, I mean, now, Knight C4 is not very good. Bishop D7? It's okay. Let's just play it. Play E5. The D5 hold is it's not the end of the world, right? Don't want the queen there. Don't want the rook there. Probably gotta go with the queen. Rook's on a pretty good square already. Huh. So he's trying to scheme on my pawn. Maybe just rook d8. If knight takes b5, bishop takes h3. I can dig that. He's trying to trick me. You know, b4 he had knight to d5, a little bit of trickery. Not the end of the world. Okay, wow, so he's going for it. And now I'm going to take this guy. And we got a pretty interesting game on our hands. He's got the queenside pawns. I've got the two bishops, although my dark squared bishop, I'll get it in the game with bishop h6. I'd like to play f5. It's going to weaken my king, so I probably want to play moves like h5, bishop h6, and stuff like that. I got to get the dark squared bishop into the game. And so h5's got to be the right move. I mean, that's got to be a good plan, I think. I think so. Bishop e6. Maybe it was a little better. Oh, wow. That's a weird idea. Let's just bring the bishop back. And I'll try to sink that bishop on b3. Like he's probably going to play b4. Didn't play b4. I'm not really liking the idea of trading queens or anything like that. So maybe just queen a7. I think if I play h4, it's like, what does that really get me? Maybe rook f8 and f5. I'm going to change my plan at the last second. Pawn on d6 doesn't matter. I need to open up to attack his king. So if I don't do anything, you know, pretty soon, I'll be in some hot water here. Let's see if he wants to open that file for me. This is dicey. This is very dicey. What a weird game. That was a good move. I'm getting really low on time. Let's go queen h4. Try to get the queen so I can play h4. I can push a pawn then. I've been trying to do that for a while. I like that. Let's go with that. h4 is the move. He can take the bishop. Pawn takes, queen takes, queen f6, rook back. I don't know. That's not going to work. Probably take the queen. Okay, that was weird. I guess he wants to play queen g3. That's my guess. I don't think I really want to trade queens. So let's bring it back. But he can take this now. Oh, that was a bad move. That was not a good move. Well, okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Bishop h6, I mean, I still got some pretty interesting play. If he takes a bishop on e6, I got to take with the queen. I mean, that's rule number one. Okay, I had the pre-move set up. Yeah, that's cool. He's going to take the bishop, and this is not the circumstance I wanted it. Not at all. But I got an active piece. Active rook goes a long way. Maybe not that long. Got to get the king safe. Maybe king over, you know, f5. Let's just go with f5 anyway. Got to get some play, man. Got to get some play. Queen takes. I mean, he's got those pawns, right? But if I can go after his king fast enough, then maybe the pawns don't matter so much. Play for mate, baby. I'm gonna put a flag in. I mean, that's the bottom line. I'm gonna try to flag this guy. That was a good move. Let's go rook here. And now I can take with a pawn. This is starting to look a little better. And he's going slow. He's going really slow. I gotta take that. Check. e4. Oh, I missed that. Well, it's coming down to a flag. King to f3. I mean, we'll have some mating threats here. Definitely gonna have some threats. Take that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is looking better all the time. This is a winning position for black. I messed it up, but it's okay. Oh, wow. Actually went on time. That was incredible. So I had 0.2 seconds left at the end. That was crazy pre-moves. Sorry, Al Wafi. What a cheesy game. So, okay, it was pretty interesting. I really messed up the move order in the Panno system. This is a good thing to learn. H3, I mean, this is all pretty standard. King's Indian offense, Panno system. Rook B8, trying to play B5. This E4 move, maybe here you just play E5. And you go with the normal King's Indian style. I've also seen people play E6. I think I've even seen Knight D7 trying to play Knight D7 maybe is a move. Because Knight D7, if he plays D5, then I play Knight A5, and I'm ready to play the normal Panno system with C5 and B5. So I think this is pretty cool. So Knight D7 is probably the move here. B5, you know, I kind of have a bad feeling about this. This is what you don't want to do in the Panno system, is give up the C6 square, because now he goes D5, and here you should just play Knight D4. And after Knight D4, I'll probably play something like B4, Bishop D7. Black's position is okay, but it's a little bit sketchy. A3 is too slow. He could also play E5 here. E5 is a pretty interesting move, although I'll probably just go Knight to D7 or probably Knight E8. Knight to E8. So now C5, got to get space. Knight D7, I mean, this is certainly a very logical move. But I didn't. Knight B6 was bad. I mean, maybe I should just continue with my regular plan of Knight C5. Knight C5 followed by Bishop E6. It's probably a little better. Knight B6, no, Knight D4, and I'm in some trouble. That weak pawn on B5. Playing E5, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do this, but I felt like I had to keep some activity. If not, I mean, if Bishop takes D4, he just takes with the queen. You know, I wouldn't do that. I would play Bishop D7 probably. But I'm not very happy with that kind of passive defense. So E5, he does get a good square. You know, I figured, okay, let's give him the B5 pawn. Who cares? I'm going to try to play for D5. Snatch the pawn. H5, I mean, this is very logical. I didn't want to trade because I wanted to keep the bishop to try to keep control of the D5 square. That's really good for me if I can do that. Maybe I should just take here, but I didn't want to. Opposite colored bishops. My bishop is horrible. His bishop is probably going to be very active. You know, bishop takes knight. He takes with the queen. Of course, he takes with the queen. Queen A7, just trying to keep pressure on that long diagonal on F2. Now I'm just, you know, starting getting really low on time. Rook C8. Was better just play Rook F8 first, I'm sure. Knight B4. So he does end up, you know, now I was kind of like, well, trying to lean on that bishop. Rook C8. Also get out of the Knight C6 fork. And so now Queen E7. Finally started getting some counterplay. After H4 here, he should probably play Bishop takes E6. Bishop takes E6. Or Knight to C6, and then Bishop takes E6. Something like that. Bishop takes E6 here, because I would have to take... I mean, he could just take the D6 pawn is what I'm trying to say. Instead, he takes on H4. Opens his king up. He tries to defend. I didn't want to trade. I finally get the bishop on a, you know, it's in the game, but he's got the good square. It's classic bad position. Looks like it's out of the knight orf almost. That good knight versus bad bishop. And now, you know, we're just in a big time scramble. Kept trying to attack him. Had to trade. I mean, Rook F4 was playable, but he's got Queen G3. Rook F4, Queen G3. I didn't like it. So it takes... Now I try to switch to the second rank. You know, Rook G4 is also possible. I feel like the second rank is where it was at, though. And possibly here, I don't know. I tried E4. I mean, this is actually a very interesting position, right? Equal material. Both kings are open. Black's got the better rook. Really interesting position. I tried E4. I don't know. It gives up a lot of squares, so that's the big drawback. Honestly, here I think the best move. I don't know. It's a really tough position, but I think the best move is Queen C4 check. And if King to G1, I can play Queen H4. That would have been the best solution. Although his queen on F3 still does a really nice job of defending. But I think that's the move. It's Queen C4 check to Queen H4. Queen H4 would be a very nice place for the queen. Instead, I played E4. And cut off lines for my own pieces, actually. And end up losing a pawn here, but I think that black is still okay. You know, white's pawns really would take a long time. Here, rook to C3, I would get one of the pawns back. You know, just as an example. I mean, it's really tough for white to hold on to those. Here, he should play rook to A2, and black probably is losing. Rook A2, there's just no... You know, I don't know, though. It's still pretty tough. I mean, rook A2, I have rook to B3, where I freeze his pawns, right? It's pretty tough to win for white. And the rest was just a time scramble. It ended up flagging in. Now black is actually in a very clearly winning position. I'm just going to march my pawns, and you know, he can't move his rook, but here I messed up and managed to flag him. So pretty interesting game. Definitely a lot of missed opportunities for both sides.